She was saving a drowning friend. She didn't know she was creating her own storm. This is a story about trust, betrayal, and a secret so dark that when it finally came to light, nobody in Sterling Solutions, Lagos, could believe what they were hearing. If you think you know where this story is going, wait. Just wait. 4 months ago, Grace Matthews sat in her beautiful corner office at Sterling Solutions, one of Lagos's most prestigious advertising firms. At 26, she had worked herself to this position. No connections. No shortcuts. Just pure hard work and talent that made clients specifically request her. Her office overlooked the Lagos Marina. Leather chairs. Glass desk. Awards on the wall. This was success that you could see and touch. But Grace wasn't thinking about any of that today. She was staring at her phone, reading a message that made her heart break. The message was from Janet Okafor, her childhood friend. They grew up together in the same compound in Surulere. They shared food when money was tight. They braided each other's hair. 25 years of friendship. The message read, "Grace, I'm tired. I have been jobless for 1 year. My landlord wants to throw me out. I sleep hungry most nights. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm losing hope." Grace's eyes filled with tears. She called Janet immediately. "Janet, where are you?" Janet's voice was weak. "I'm home." "Grace, I'm ashamed. I didn't want to disturb you. I know you're busy with your big job and your big life." Grace's chest tightened. "Stop that talk. You are my sister. Listen, there's an opening here for executive assistant. The pay is good. Very good. Let me talk to my boss." Janet gasped. "Grace, are you serious? Oh my God. Please. I will do anything. I'm begging you." That evening, Grace went to Mr. Ojewol's office. He was the managing director, a strict but fair man who built Sterling Solutions from nothing. "Sir, I want to recommend someone for the executive assistant position," Grace said carefully. Mr. Ojewol looked up from his papers. "Who?" "My childhood friend, sir. She's educated, smart, and desperate for a chance. I will stake my reputation on her." Those words. Stake my reputation. Grace would remember them later with regret. Mr. Ojewol studied her face. "Grace, you are one of my best. If you trust her, then I trust your judgment. Tell her to come for an interview next week." Grace called Janet with the news. Janet screamed so loud that Grace had to move the phone from her ear. "Thank you. Thank you. Grace, I will never forget this. You saved my life. I swear I will make you proud." 1 week later, Janet came for the interview. Grace had coached her for 3 days straight. What to say. What to wear. How to sit. Everything. She answered every question perfectly. Mr. Ojewol was impressed. "You start Monday," he said. Janet got the job. She cried in Grace's arms in the parking lot. "I don't know how to thank you," she sobbed. Grace hugged her tightly. "Just be good. Work hard. That's all the thanks I need." Janet nodded against her shoulder. "I promise. You won't regret this." For the first month, everything seemed perfect. Janet was humble, hardworking, always early. She called Grace Miss Matthew in the office, maintaining professionalism. Colleagues liked her. Mr. Ojewol praised her efficiency. Grace felt proud, like a mother watching her child succeed. But something Grace didn't know was happening. Something dark was growing in Janet's heart. Envy. Not the small kind that makes you wish for what others have. The poisonous kind that makes you want to destroy what you cannot have. Every day, Janet watched Grace walk into her beautiful office. She watched clients respect her. She watched Mr. Ojewol value her opinion. And something twisted inside Janet each time. She began to think, why should Grace have everything? We grew up together. We are the same age. I'm only 1 year younger. Yet she is here and I am just an assistant. It's not fair. The change started small in the second month. Janet began arriving exactly at 9 a.m., not early anymore. She started taking longer lunch breaks. Grace noticed but said nothing. After all, the work was still getting done. Then, one Friday afternoon, something strange happened. Grace's client, Mrs. Adeola Williams, a billionaire businesswoman, called Grace directly. "Grace, I got a very odd email from your office yesterday. Someone named Janet sent me your confidential pitch for the Zenith Bank campaign. She said she wanted my early feedback before your presentation. Why would your assistant do that?" Grace's blood went cold. "Ma, I don't understand. I will look into it immediately and call you back." She marched to Janet's desk, trying to control her anger. "Janet, did you send Mrs. Williams my confidential pitch?" Janet looked up, her face innocent. "Oh, that? Yes. I thought it would help. You know, to get early feedback." Grace's voice was low and shaking. "That pitch was confidential. I didn't authorize you to send it to anyone. You could have compromised the entire campaign." Janet shrugged slightly. "I was trying to help. Sorry if I did something wrong." The sorry had no weight. It was empty. Grace walked away before she said something she would regret. That night, she couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. But she couldn't put her finger on it. She decided to watch Janet more carefully. The next week, Grace noticed Janet spending a lot of time talking to Chitty, the IT manager. They would laugh together, whisper, and Janet would touch his arm playfully. Grace thought nothing of it. Let Janet make friends. That was healthy. But what Grace didn't know was that Janet was gathering information. Passwords. Access codes. Sensitive data. And Chitty, blinded by Janet's attention and beauty, was giving her everything. Then came the week that changed everything. Grace had been working for 6 months on the biggest pitch of her career. Globacom. A 50 million naira contract. If Sterling Solutions won this, it would be legendary. Grace had poured her soul into the presentation. Market research. Creative designs. Strategies that were brilliant and unique. The presentation was scheduled for Friday. On Wednesday night, Grace was working late in her office. Around 8 p.m., she heard footsteps. She peeked through her door and saw Janet coming out of the conference room where Grace had stored all her Globacom presentation materials. Janet was carrying a flash drive and looking around nervously. Grace's heart began to pound. She waited until Janet left, then she went to check the conference room. Everything looked normal. But something felt off. She couldn't explain it. She locked everything and went home, uneasy in her spirit. Thursday morning came. Grace arrived early to review her presentation one final time. But when she opened her laptop, her heart stopped. The main presentation file was corrupted. Completely destroyed. 6 months of work. Gone. Grace's hand started shaking. She called IT immediately. "Please, can you recover this file? It's urgent. My presentation is tomorrow." The IT guy worked for 2 hours but shook his head. "I'm sorry, Miss Grace. This file was deliberately corrupted with a virus. Someone did this intentionally." Grace felt faint. "What? Who? How?" The IT guy checked the logs. The virus was introduced through a flash drive yesterday evening at 8:47 p.m. It was plugged into the conference room computer. Grace's vision blurred. 8:47 p.m. Right after she saw Janet leaving the conference room. But she had no proof. Just suspicion. And accusing someone without evidence would make her look desperate. Grace spent the entire night rebuilding the presentation from memory and rough notes. She didn't sleep. She cried twice from frustration. But she finished. Her eyes were red. Her hands were cramping. But she finished. On Friday morning, she walked into that conference room like a warrior going to battle. The presentation went well. The Globacom executives were impressed. "Brilliant work, Miss Matthew," the CEO said. "We will be in touch." Grace smiled weakly. Mr. Ojwal shook her hand proudly. But Grace felt hollow inside. Something had died in her that week. Trust. That evening, as Grace packed to go home, Janet appeared at her door. "Grace, congratulations on the presentation. I heard it went well." Grace looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, she saw something in Janet's eyes. Satisfaction. Not happiness for a friend's success. Satisfaction. As if she had won something. "Thank you," Grace said coldly. Janet tilted her head. "Are you okay? You look tired." Grace nodded slowly. "I am tired. Very tired." Janet smiled. "You should rest. Don't kill yourself for this job. It's not worth it." And then she left. Those words echoed in Grace's mind all weekend. It's not worth it. It felt like a threat. Monday came with shocking news. Mr. Ojwal called an emergency meeting. The entire company gathered in the conference hall. Mr. Ojwal's face was grave. "I have very disappointing news. The Globacom pitch we worked so hard on has been stolen." A rival company, Crystal Advertising, presented almost the exact same concept to Globacom this morning. They claimed they developed it independently. But I know our ideas when I see them. We have a traitor among us. The room exploded with gasps and angry murmurs. Grace felt the ground shift under her feet. Stolen? How? Mr. Ojwal continued. "I have asked IT and security to investigate. We will find out who did this. And when we do, the consequences will be severe." Grace's hands gripped the table. Her mind was racing. Over the next 3 days, the office was tense. Everyone suspected everyone. IT combed through every computer, every email, every file transfer. Then, on Thursday afternoon, Mr. Ojwal called Grace to his office. His face was strange. Sad and angry at the same time. "Grace, sit down." Grace sat, her heart pounding. "Sir?" Mr. Ojwal placed a file on the desk. "We found the traitor." Grace held her breath. "Who, sir?" Mr. Ojwal opened the file. Inside were printouts of emails. Emails between Janet and someone at Crystal Advertising. Grace's vision swam as she read them. "Dear Mr. Akin, attached is the Globacom presentation from Sterling Solutions. As agreed, please transfer the first half of the payment. I will send more confidential files next week. Janet Okafor." Grace's mouth opened but no sound came out. Mr. Ojwal's voice was heavy. "She sold us out, Grace. For money. 3 million naira. She has been sending them our client lists, our strategies, everything. For the past month." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "No. No, this can't be real." Mr. Ojwal continued. "There's more. Janet has been telling people, including our clients, that you were the one helping her. That you two were partners in this. She was building a narrative to frame you if she ever got caught." Grace couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. The friend she saved. The friend she staked her reputation on. Had tried to destroy her completely. "Sir, I swear, I had no idea. I would never." Mr. Ojwal raised his hand. "I know, Grace. The evidence clears you completely. But I need you to understand how serious this is. Because of your recommendation, I hired her. She had access because of you. Sterling Solutions has lost clients, money, and reputation. Grace's tears fell freely. "I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry." Mr. Ojwal sighed heavily. "I know you didn't know. But this is a hard lesson. Janet has been arrested. Police came an hour ago. She's currently at the station." Grace covered her face with her hands. Her body shook with sobs. Everything made sense now. The corrupted file. The strange behaviors. The satisfaction in Janet's eyes. It was all planned. That evening, Grace sat in her dark living room, unable to move. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her pick up. "Hello?" A familiar voice came through, cold and bitter. "Grace, it's me. Janet." Grace's hand tightened on the phone. "How are you calling me?" Janet laughed, but it was an ugly sound. "They let me make one call. I chose you. I want you to know something. I never regretted what I did. You had everything. Beautiful office. Respect. Money. I was tired of being your charity case. I wanted my own success. And I almost had it. 3 million naira, Grace. That money would have changed my life." Grace's voice cracked. "I helped you. I vouched for you. I loved you like a sister." Janet's voice turned venomous. "That's the problem. I didn't want to be helped. I didn't want your pity. I wanted to be equal. But even when we worked at the same place, you were still above me. So I decided, if I can't rise to your level, I will bring you down to mine. Unfortunately, I got caught. But Grace, remember this, you will never trust anyone again. That's my gift to you. Goodbye." The line went dead. Grace dropped the phone and cried until she had no tears left. The betrayal wasn't just about money or stolen files. It was deeper. It was personal. It was evil. That night, Grace's mother came to stay with her. She held Grace like a child. "My daughter, some people are not grateful. They are just greedy. You did nothing wrong." The case went to court. Janet was sentenced to 3 years in prison for corporate espionage and theft. Sterling Solutions recovered some of the money, but the damage was done. Some clients left. Grace's name, though cleared, was still whispered about in the industry. The months that followed were dark for Grace. She struggled with trust, with sleep, with everything. She blamed herself daily. But slowly, with therapy and support from real friends, Grace began to heal. Mr. Ojwal stood by her. "Grace, you are one of the most talented people I know. Don't let one bad person destroy your light." 6 months after the incident, Grace landed a deal even bigger than Globacom. And this time, she worked alone. Just her, her talent, and God. As for Janet, Grace never visited her in prison. Never wrote to her. Never thought about her if she could help it. Forgiveness would come later. But some bridges, once burned completely, leave ashes that you can never walk on again. And Grace learned something painful but necessary: helping people is noble. But some people don't want help. They want what you have. And they will smile in your face while planning your downfall. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Thank you for watching this story. This tale reminds us to be kind but also wise. Not everyone who says thank you means it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you helped? Give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to this channel for more real-life stories. Until next time, stay blessed and stay wise. Bye.